Well, welcome back here to Viewpoints. I'm your host, Jordan Voyles. I'm sitting here with Dr. John Gerlach. We've started a new sermon series. John, we're going to be talking about joy today. What do you have for us?
Yeah, so we're diving through Philippians, and I want to encourage the listener. I encourage them to basically read through Philippians. It's a short book, few chapters. You got 4 chapters to read. That is a letter written from Paul to, I think, it's a church he probably was closest to. This is the one he probably had the closest relationship with. And some amazing stuff there because we have the context, and the context changes everything. And it comes out in the first chapter. But the context is this is a huge letter of joy. It's about how to have joy no matter what. And he's writing it from prison, which gives you a real context. So it's like if you took away a few verses that give you that clue, you'd go, this is such a happy kind of book of the Bible. It's very, upbeat. It's very everything, but it is him seriously considering I may never make it out of this situation. I may be executed. All this stuff is facing him. And so it leads us to this great place that I think we all need to live. And that is, how do you have joy when things aren't joyful? When circumstances in life are not so great. And so I think let's just start with a really easy kind of question to get us into it. You're going to enjoy this. Like, it's that question of, why do bad things happen? If God is good, why does bad things happen? So to you, take it.
Such an easy question.
Yeah, if you give it an answer in about 8 seconds, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
The best way I know how to kind of answer that question, and we hear that a lot from like the atheist standpoint of like, well, if your God's so good, why does everything happen? Well, I think there's 2 ways you can go about that. Is number one, I think you have to trust and believe in God's sovereign plan for you, of going like, even though this, I don't understand it, he's working it out for my good. But it's really, what you're really asking is, you kind of have to go through what Job went through. And I think it's the ultimate test of Satan testing you in this time to make sure that your belief is actually real. And I think that everyone kind of goes through a Job season or a crushing. And then we see later on that in the New Testament that, going through trials produces patience, and patience produces character. Character, eventually resolves into more faith. And so I think that that's, as a believer, you have to have those Job moments to go like, even though I'm facing the storm, my faith has to be built upon God's greater plan. And I know that's easy to say, and I get that. And someone might be listening to this right now and it's going through a storm. And they're like, man, I don't even want to come to church. I don't even want to sing. And I get that. But I think it's the Job answer to that question. It's like, well, what is God trying to show you through it?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I would respond to that.
Yeah, I think that's good. I want to put a little different twist on it, because I think that is probably one of the top 2 or 3 questions people have that do not believe. It's probably one of the top 2 or 3 questions for Christians that do believe. But a different twist is this. In one way, hey, what about the situation though that we have here, which is, God, why does bad things happen to probably the greatest Christian leader that's ever lived, who started the most churches, who wrote most of the New Testament? Why in the world would you let him get put in prison? I mean, keep him going, man. We've got more churches to start. We've got more books of the Bibles to write. To write. Yeah. And, so to me, I get it when people say that, bad things happen. Why do that happen if God's good? All that. And I understand that. But even on a Christian level, like, why is there times where someone seems to, I don't know who you put above Paul. Paul is just like the guy who started all these churches and really took Christianity from this little small beginning to
big missionary,
number one. And yet he had it figured out. And we find this little short verse in Philippians chapter 1 that is his life definition that to me gives you the answer of, okay, what do you do with that? I mean, for Christians, when we think here was this great Christian leader, you and I went to an exhibit one time at a church that was some different missionaries, and these missionaries were killed.
Yep.
In fact, we talked about later, there were so many people who died for their faith. And it's like, wait a minute, but they were doing
the Lord's work
better than most, you know? Why in the world? So I think we have the answer to the question from Paul himself, who is living it. And it all has to do with joy. But let me read the verse. So the verse is Philippians chapter 1, verse 21. I'd encourage the listener to learn this verse, memorize this verse, dig into this verse because it's short, but boy, is it deep. And you know, we like to be deep around here.
Oh,
so. Yes. For me to live is Christ and to die is gain.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of unpack the two parts there. So for me to live is, and he said Christ. And I think everybody has an answer for that blank in their life currently. Everybody. So they don't say it that way. But, you know, what is your definition? For me to live is my children. Yeah. For me to live is my family. For me to live is my career. For me to live is money. For me to live is this hobby, this sport. Or for me to live is whatever, getting, you know, just being comfortable.
Do you think that American, like Western culture, when they think of Christianity, though, is like, for me to live is comfortable, but I could do that with Christ? Do you think that's the wrong way to look at that?
Oh, yeah, I think it's definitely the wrong way. And I think what you have today is, you know, back in Paul's day, he had these different philosophies. You had the Stoics who were stay in control, no emotions. And you had the Epicureans who said, hey, I just want to have fun, pleasure. He had that going on. That's not really what we have as much today. To me, what we have today is this, hey, I am a good person who's just living my truth. So for me to live is me. You know, it's kind of, I mean, I think the biggest answer probably in our culture is me. Me to live is me. This is
that is truth.
You know? Yeah. And so that's the answer today. But so what's this have to do with joy? I think I want to give this to the listener. I think this is something that is there's been a key statement for me. I know that joy is simply a response to what Jesus has done. And Paul can have joy even though he's imprisoned, probably facing execution. I've visited a place where he was imprisoned, more than likely in Rome, and he probably did get executed. We're not exactly sure, but probably he did. And that was the end of his story as far as his earthly life. But joy is a response to what Jesus has done. And Jesus had done so much for Paul. The other really didn't matter. Yeah. So it was for me to live as Christ. That's what matters the most. So I think you hold on to that. So the question to the listener there is, what's your definition of life? How would you fill in the blank? Well, let's dig into the second part. For me to live as Christ and to die, gain. Like, wait, a minute. So you're going to love, I have a music quote for you. Okay, about that last part, to die is gain. Kenny Chesney, 2008. You ready? The lyric is, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go now. If you want to go ahead and just sing
Well, it reminds me of another quote by Barry Manilow. No,
didn't the Jonas Brothers do something on that? I think they did. I think they did. You should go to another. You should go to another concert and make sure.
Yeah, that's true. I'm guessing what you're saying is that we like the idea of that. Yeah, but we want to live our life now.
Oh yeah,
and be happy with that.
Exactly. But here's the thing, and let me tie it all together and wrap it all up, and here it is. If anybody's got anything in the blank for me to live is, and it's not Christ, at death, that goes away, guaranteed. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. It goes away at death. So the only thing you can have left at the end of your life is Christ, and then you have new life. So it kind of just makes sense. I mean, it sounds weird to us because I think we don't have, we're not where Paul is, you know, in some of our own thoughts and attitudes.
Yeah.
But so the question is, and I'll just kind of wrap up with this, and you may have a final thought here. So what's your definition of life? I think the key thing here out of chapter 1, as I've been reading through Philippians, and I encourage the reader to do the same thing. So what is your definition of life? Paul's is, for me to live as Christ and to die gain.
That's good. I do have one thought for you. I was talking to someone not too long ago. We talked about it, and we were kind of going through like, you know, why do bad things happen to good people? And number one, I think that that's a bad way to say it because none of us are good.
Right, exactly.
But another question I had is, and I brought this up to this person, is if Christ never does anything else for you, is the cross enough?
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to ask you with, should we change our perspective of what Paul is saying here, what he's already done? Would you think that's a healthy way to look at that, of going like, yeah, you know, I expect the Lord to bless me, but he already has.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to quote myself, at this, because this was and the reason I want to do that is because it was such a powerful truth that God used in my own life, which was, I started going, am I chasing Jesus or am I chasing what Jesus can give me? And I think it addresses exactly what you're talking about, that we can get so much into, I need this from Jesus. I need peace. I need joy. I need all this stuff. Well, it's the wrong order. It's Jesus alone. Then those things follow. Yeah. But we can kind of want Jesus just for the benefits. Yeah. And that's all.
Wow. Well, Pastor John, thank you so much. I pray that this has blessed you today. And just stick with us. This is going to be a great sermon series. So we hope to see you next time, and God bless.